So there's a certain person who's constantly interrupting you, coming to your office and consuming your time, and you perceive it to be unnecessary interruptions. How do you deal with that habit? You deal with that habit like you deal in any small habits that irritate you that people have. And one of the recommendations I make is that people do not address that while the action is actually happening. Too many misunderstandings can take place, too much emotion can be involved, and they might just think you're irritated for the moment. Much better to take somebody aside, and anything you're asking somebody to correct, almost anything you're asking someone to correct, and we're using the example of being interrupted by somebody on a consistent basis. You want them to change this habit. So instead of addressing it at the moment and just saying, hey, would you stop interrupting me? Or we don't show this body language like, oh, we're trying to hint people away, which, by the way, is very misunderstood and can be very demeaning. All of that is for another video that we'll get to. But this whole thing of taking somebody aside, instead of doing it at that moment, we take them aside. I don't want to get the branches. I want to get the root of this thing. And so we take this person aside at a time when the action isn't happening. And let's say the person's name is John. I just say, John, hey, look, I really enjoy talking to you, and certainly if it's over something pertinent, we got to get it done. And if we want to chat, we can go to lunch or whatever. But there are times that you come in and interrupt me in my work, and it seems really unnecessary to me. Let me give you 3 or 4 very specific examples of times you've interrupted me. Don't correct somebody. Don't bring correction to anybody. Don't criticize anybody without very specific examples that they can see and say, okay, that's what I'm doing. That's what I have to change. And then ask them for that change. You have a give and take on it. You'll see their motivations. They'll talk to you about why they had come in over those things. But what will happen ultimately is you'll get an understanding. And that's how we ask somebody for behavior change. We don't do it during the event because that could cause misunderstandings and an emotion that could cause a problem. We take them aside at another time. We go for the root of the thing and just saying, look, here's what I see happening. Here's a pattern I see. Here's what it's doing to me. Here's how it's impacting me. Here are 3 or 4 very specific examples of what I'm talking about. Then there's the give and take, hopefully an understanding that brings about that behavior change. If we're going to ask for behavior change in these little small things, that's the way to get it done.